Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're an old friend, then welcome back. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Alright, so I know I'm a little bit early, but I like to do the videos a little bit in advance to give them time to circulate before the date actually occurs. And this video is about the 4/4, April 4th, portal that we have coming up in just a couple days. So I am going to start with this deck right here, and right on the bottom we have group. So we'll see if that has anything, you know, continents, whatever. All right. Okay. So Spirit, please give us the message that we need for to understand the 4/4 portal that we have coming up, the energy, what we need to do, what we need to know, what we need to maybe be alchemizing in order for us to best utilize this energy for our best and highest good. Bring us truth and clarity as we seek to continue our spiritual journeys for healing. Okay. We have foolproof plan. Okay. I don't miss him, but I miss the life I had with them. Went too far. Lessons. You are never alone. Brown eyes. Gum. For a reason. Dharma. And so be it. So we're talking about this spiritual journey, right, that we're on. If you found your way to this channel, you are most definitely on a spiritual journey, all right? Or you are meant to help others, or you've been on a spiritual journey already, and you are meant to help others get and find their way through theirs. So we have foolproof plan, the Fool card, spiritual journey, a leap of faith, proof, evidence, case, judgment. You know, we talk a lot about judgment on this channel. There is a lot of it. I feel like the world is kind of being judged right now. There's evidence of that, you know, everywhere. You know, signs and wonders like the oceans turning red and earthquakes and all that stuff, right? Okay. Anyway, you know, the Bible says, judge lest not you be judged. Well, we are at the point, you know, where either God has called judgment on us or we have called judgment on one another, right? And any time that you call judgment on someone else, you will also be judged. Now, this is actually a good thing because this is what is getting us into alignment with God, with the universe, with the plan to bring heaven to earth, right? Okay, basically. Because, yeah, nobody is perfect, right? Some people actually, you know, kind of already call judgment on themselves, okay? and hold themselves accountable all the time. It's not to say that, that they don't make bad decisions here and there. Nobody's perfect. But it is important, right? Judgment is all about being held accountable. Someone being held accountable for their actions, for their choices, for the consequences of those actions and choices. And so it's definitely a moment to kind of reflect, right? Because as you build your case, and sometimes it's moving forward, gathering evidence for that case. Okay, so you may have been going through this for a long time. And I feel like we are at the point where a case has been opened, sides have been heard, evidence has been gathered on both sides, right? And we are at the point of a decision, a final decision being made or having been made. And so now it's time for that justice to be handed down, whatever the decision is, to be followed through with. And it's like that moment right before the judge delivers the final verdict, right? That everybody's kind of holding their breath. I feel like that's what's going on here. And it's like both sides, okay? Somebody went too far, okay? But it's all for a reason, right? This is what we learn on our spiritual journey, right? And if I don't miss him, but I miss the life I had then, it's reflecting, right? Sometimes on the things that we regret or how far we've come. And understanding that it's all a lesson, right? It's all part of the plan to learn and grow, to receive your dharma or karma, depending on which side you fall on. And that it's all as it was meant to be. And maybe to learn that you are never alone, right? Okay? That God was with you throughout it all. God will remain with you even after, no matter which side you fall on, innocent or guilty, right? And knowing and understanding, too, that, God is the judge, right? And God is a faithful, loving God. Yes, God will punish you, just like a good parent. God will punish you in a way that is fair, right? In a way that's going to teach you the lesson that you need to learn. So I feel like there's been a lot of lessons learned here already on both sides. What else do we need to know about this? Someone may have brown eyes, you or them, like to chew gum, or feel like you've been chewed up and spit out. 9 of Cups. Wish fulfillment. I feel like this is about learning to be okay either way. That maybe that's one of the lessons that was meant to be learned here. The Hermit and Seven of Pentacles. You know, shining light on your intentions, okay? Nine of Cups, your intentions. Seven of Pentacles, the actions that you took, the decisions that you made, the seeds that you sowed, and why you did it, right? It's about learning. It's about understanding what you do, why you do it, and that your actions and choices have consequences. Eight of Swords. Some of us are a little too hard on ourselves. Like I said, some of us hold ourselves accountable, right? We call judgment on ourselves. Sometimes too much so, rather than other people, rather than the people who truly need to learn the lesson. And we end up trapping ourselves in that idea of justice and judgment. That it becomes a trap when you only ever hold yourself accountable and not anyone else. To the point that you become a victim. King of Wands reverse. Sometimes we judge ourselves more harshly than God judges us. Seven of Swords. When we only judge ourselves, it allows other people to get away with their deceptive behavior, with their lies, with their manipulations, with their thievery. So even though, you know, we may have been programmed, right, to not judge others, it is important to have good judgment, right? Good discernment, in order to be able to discern who is for us and who is not. To judge. To judge others. You know, when we don't use good judgment, we end up feeling burdened. And wanting to walk away. and leave behind 8 of Cups. Ace of Cups and the Empress. Things that were actually truly loving to us, for us, towards us. Things that may have actually been blessings, or were meant to be blessings, but end up becoming burdens. Maybe because we didn't use good judgment, we didn't have discernment, we didn't speak up for ourselves. We took on the burden and judged ourselves instead, and said, well, maybe I'm not doing enough. Rather than holding others accountable for their own actions, choices, and behavior. Knight of Pentacles. I feel like we try to be the rock, the steady, stoic, knight on that horse. Wheel of Fortune. That can only last for so long, right? You can't do everything for everyone else. You can't be everything for everyone else. You must do and be for yourself first and foremost. And not allow others to get away with not doing their own work, pulling their own weight. And that if someone does not call judgment on themselves every now and again, that you must then be willing to call judgment on them. And how do they respond when you do so? Are they willing to be corrected? Are they willing to take that look inside themselves? Right. Are they giving reciprocity? 6 of Pentacles. Are they giving and receiving, or are they just taking, or are you just giving? Right? Is it a balanced relationship? High Priestess. Page of Swords. It's like you already know. You already know the answers to these questions and what you need to do. Because if someone is not willing to carry their own weight or their fair share of the burden, then you must walk away. But did you give them the opportunity to learn and grow and change before you got to this point? And for most of you, I feel like the answer to that question is yes. Knight of Pentacles, in some cases, too long. Right? And the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel is turning. The time is now for you to make your final decision. Having gathered all the evidence and seen all there is to see here, Justice. Queen of Swords. It's time to hands down that verdict. Because if you don't, God will. God is. In fact, it's like God already has, and God is waiting for you to see it through. God has told you what you need to do in this situation. But are you listening? And it is an honest and fair judgment based on all the facts. Knight of Wands. The Magician. It's like you are magical. And you need to be free to express yourself without hindrance, without being judged for it. You know, how did others judge you as well? Did they judge you fairly? Did they treat you fairly? Did they use good discernment? Did they make good choices when it came to you? We're meant to be reflecting upon that and taking action moving forward after having taken an honest look at the situation and making an honest decision. And that if you are or have been unhappy with your life up to this point, it's up to you to change it. To be your own hero. I hope this has helped you in some way, shape, or form. I hope, if nothing else, it has entertained you for a few moments in time. And that if you haven't already, you will like, share, and subscribe. Bye.